What is going on, YouTube people? Neo Cards and Comics here from the hotel room in New York City for weekly sports card market update condensed edition. I decided to record one of these on the road. Audio is probably going to sound a little bit different since I'm recording from the laptop, but some newsy stuff I wanted to touch on, some new releases I wanted to touch on while I was away. So wanted to get one of these out to you boys and girls. I am on the scene at New York Comic Con. If you're curious what a massive Comic Con looks like compared to a massive card show, I have a couple days worth of vlogs out on the channel you can check out. Pretty busy news week overall. Obviously, we had the PSA GameStop thing, Fanatics events cancellation. We're going to talk more about that one here actually in a minute. But we had a slew of new releases and some other product creep out that I wanted to hit on this week. But first, shout out to channel sponsor ComC.com. They are going to have some promotional events around the Dallas Card Show. As you just saw up on the screen, they are actually here at New York Comic Con taking drop-off submissions. They are your home for buying and selling millions of trading cards, and thanks to their support, they make trips like this possible for me to come out here and get some boots on the ground at Comic-Con and see what is going on in the streets. So if you're not using ComC to buy, sell, go over and check them out. And don't forget, they have that NBA auction event running at the end of the month as well. First thing I wanted to touch on, which has just kind of made the rounds this week, because Collect Media had an article, a bunch of people have done videos on it. The triple auto is still MIA. We do not know where this thing is. Top says it has been shipped out. No one has claimed it yet. So where is it? Is it sitting in a sealed pack somewhere? Is the tinfoil hat brigade going to go all crazy and say that it was never actually shipped out, or there's some other shenanigans going on with it? I think it's in Topps' best interest that they would want this thing found as soon as possible, but we'll see if this has any secondary market prices or effects on the secondary market packs that are hanging around on eBay. So far, it hasn't. I saw the Sports Card Investor team kind of discuss this the other day, and I kind of agree with them that the hype might be starting to wear off this card a little bit. Still a really cool card, obviously, but the further and further we get away from the Olympics, the less and less buzz there is around this card, and I think that will potentially hurt it a little bit compared to if it had gotten hit right out of the gate. And I don't know, I don't think I've seen if the Ohtani 50-50 1/1 has been hit yet. I haven't seen that pop up, to the best of my knowledge. Maybe it did this week and I just missed it with the craziness of Comic-Con, because to be honest, it's been hard for me to keep up with a lot of the day-to-day stuff like I typically do, being on the road and inside Javits Center for 12 hours a day. Circle back to this one. Fanatics Collect Orlando canceled. It's been interesting talking to people that I know at the show this week at New York Comic Con about the cancellation of this and how it caught a lot of people off guard. And I'm not talking necessarily about attendees. Obviously, it caught attendees off guard, and the comment section on this post is insane. I know I even had some comments on my own videos talking about people had hotels booked that they can't get money back for, flights booked that they can't get money back for. They also caught a lot of the companies off guard as well. A lot of the corporate stuff, they have to book their travel. They have to book if they're bringing equipment or build booths or whatever, and they yank them around just as much as they've yanked everyone else around. I think a lot of people are not, this isn't like a news flash, but a lot of people are not super happy about the way this all played out, especially with it only being 2 weeks before. And this goes way deeper than just your average collector, card show dealer, etc. This also trickles up the corporate food chain as well because plans were made, booths were bought, things were designed for stuff like this type of event. So intriguing times out there. We'll see what Fanatics has in the future. I thought Fanatics Fest New York was a fantastic event. I think they need to really focus in on one or two events a year. I know they have WrestleMania. Obviously, they've done that one in the past. And Fanatics Fest New York. I would almost leave it at that for next year. Maybe plan something else, at something smaller scale. But let's nail those before we kind of get going too crazy on all this extra stuff with these other shows. Because now you kind of have to reprove yourself to the hobby. Top Scrum update came up for pre-order. I actually wanted to pre-order some of this and completely whiffed on it. It went live while I was in the middle of the Comic-Con show floor, and then when I remembered that it went live, I forgot to set an alarm. It was long sold out. I checked like a half hour, 45 minutes later, and it was long gone. So this stuff went super fast. I'll have to try to get some on the initial Topps release. I actually whiffed on Topps paper update as well. Those released while I was driving, and I wasn't able to get any of those either. So it has been just a cavalcade of errors for myself trying to get Topps product this week for the new releases. I still may try to get my hands on some Topps update paper, but speaking of that, prices have really jumped. Regular hobby boxes are at $135 now. They were $85, $90 on release from Topps, and jumbos are sitting at around $280 to $300, and those were way cheaper on pre-order and initial release. So I feel like I missed the boat there as well. So maybe I'll end up taking a pass on Topps update. That was not something that I planned. And maybe I'll try to double down on Chrome when that comes around and, chase some debut patches or something. But it looks like overall it's a pretty solid product, especially for the introductory price. Now, I don't know about these inflated secondary market prices, but if you got boxes on that pre-order rate, actually a pretty fair price, it feels like, by today's standards. Just looking at a couple key cards, I think this is going to be the one that everyone is going to be chasing. This is the Skeens Golden Mirror. I'm recording this Saturday afternoon. This still has a couple days left on it, and it's already at $620. Great image with the Gatorade bath. Looks like some yellow Gatorade on there. So we have Gatorade color match. Yeah, that's right. I said what I said. And based off of what I've heard, it seems like the Golden Mirrors are even more short printed in 2024 update compared to previous years. So it might make this one even more rare than the last few years in regards to trying to hit one of these. Now, out of the gate, these things are going to sell for super high prices because first to market, and there's really not even that many that have hit eBay yet. But if you're a Skeens super collector, I think this might be one of the good ones to go after outside, like the super low numbered stuff or whatever. But of the short prints, I think they picked a good image. I think the card looks good. That Topps 2024 design looks great. Overall, I think this one is a winner, and this one in particular is probably going to sell for a good chunk of change. Some of his other stuff, I was just kind of curious. I'll do a deeper dive on this when I'm on the home PC. But some of his autos are going for about $600. I actually really like this one, the 89 throwback version, because the amount of 89 Topps that I ripped as a kid is a little crazy. That's kind of when I was in the peak of, baseball card kiddom back in the day. But autos going for about $400, give or take. A lot of them are sticker autos. Some of them aren't. Just kind of depends on what you get. And then on the base cards, looks like his base is going for about $10, give or take. I'm sure that's going to fluctuate quite a bit. The one that really jumped out at me, that if you just want a Skeens card that's not super expensive, I actually think this black gold looks great. The Topps black gold generally look really good, but then when you throw the Skeens, the pirate Skeens factor on top of it, This is going to be a great card that you'll be able to get for 10 or 15 bucks probably. These are very tough to grade as well, at least in previous years they have been. But fantastic looking card. And like I said, if you just wanted to collect a Skeens card that looked good, that was very affordable, this is a pretty aesthetically a pleasing one to go after. If I don't end up ripping any update, I might try to snag one of these in a slab just as like a, I don't want to say a souvenir, but remember the good times of Skeens rookie year. The other crazy one of the week, and this honestly could have been a separate video, these Donruss Costco boxes. There are images on social, if I was at home, I would pull them up, of people just stacked with like 30, 60, 90, 150 of these boxes on carts, rolling them out of Costco. I think they retail for like 55 or 60 bucks a pop. They're going on the secondary market for around 90. You get a bunch of base Donruss packs, and you get one single jumbo pack. And what I mean by jumbo is oversized card that contains a downtown. So there is one oversized downtown in every single one of these. And the secondary market is going crazy for these things. I think part of it is the limited supply of 2024 football product. These kind of came out of nowhere, and there's really no other product coming out for a decent bit. So everyone's FOMOing the hell out of these things. The jumbo downtowns are selling strong. Here's the Jaden Daniels, $100. The Jordan Love, $50. Just kind of scrolling through there. There's a 3-pack that went for $160, $30. So depending on who you hit, you almost pay for a decent chunk of the box just off the downtown, the jumbo downtown. I don't know how deep the checklist is, but Jaden Daniels went for 89. Here's a Malik Neighbors went for 33. That's half the price of the box paid for just by ripping the jumbo pack. Now, I don't know how long these prices are going to hold. Once again, this is the FOMO of FOMO products. The other thing that I would be curious about, and all these listings have oversized in it, so it says right on it, oversized, jumbo case hit. That's a little bit of a different story, but it does say oversized in the listing description. I'd be curious to know how many people purchasing these aren't paying super close attention to the fact that they're oversized and are going to get a little surprise in the mail when they get a much larger envelope than they expected. So that should be a fun one, as I wonder how many of these are going to get returned potentially to people. I have no faith that this stuff is going to hold any value at all. I think this is a perfect storm of no 2024 football on the market, people not understanding what the hell these jumbo oversized downtowns are, and just full FOMO feeding into itself. I was curious. I just pulled up Jaden Daniels 2024 Donruss just to kind of see what stuff was going for. There's a myriad of different versions of his card in here, but his base card seems to be going for about 15-20 bucks, give or take, with some inserts going even higher and some throwbacks. Here's one that went for 7. There was one up top that went for about 10. Here's one for 25, 20, 20. This will be even if he's really good, this is probably a $5 card at best once we get full product release of everything else. So as always, be careful on new releases. Be especially careful on this new release. Now, if you're ripping it and listing it on eBay as fast as humanly possible, or flipping the sealed boxes, you do your thing, but don't run out and buy a bunch of Jaden Daniels on the secondary market at these inflated prices. I'm sure people are running these things in the PSA as quickly as possible to get first to market on that, but that is always a dangerous game to play. That is all I got for you, boys and girls. My little afternoon break is come to a close. I need to get back down to the show floor. We will catch you, boys and girls, throughout the week. I have no idea what the content schedule is going to look like this week as I continue to play catch up. I do have a PSA order coming back. Oh boy, that's going to be a good video. My PSA order coming back. That should be pretty spicy. because I looked at the grades ahead of time. Yikes. So that'll be out at some point in time this week. I'm not sure if there'll be a video on Monday or not. If there is, it'll probably be something Comic-Con related. But everyone have a great weekend. Enjoy your football today. We'll catch you boys and girls on the next one. Peace.